What's up, everybody? So these are going to be the first three bosses for Wulong Fallen Dynasty. This is going to be new for me because I have done like an Elden Ring thing, which I do plan to do like the bosses for that. But yeah, so these are going to be like the first three bosses of the game, these are the ones that you can fight in the demo. But as like far as like doing like a full-on walkthrough, yeah, that's not going to be the thing. I'll show like the opening cutscenes and the cutscenes in between and after the fight. That's pretty much it. Because I feel like games like these are more gameplay oriented. I think this is the stuff that people want to see, you know. And the reason why I'm not doing like a full walkthrough of it, like doing like the full stages and whatnot, is because the enemy variety is actually the weakest part of this game. And a lot of people actually agree. It's like Team Ninja regressed from what they learned for Nioh 2, you know, when they added more enemy variety, and it feels like in this game they, you know, it went down to like 10 enemies. You run into like all of them very early into the game. It's pretty crazy. So nobody wants to see me fighting the same 10 enemies, you know, repeatedly. So let's just do the bosses. Sounds a lot more exciting anyways, because the bosses are the best part of this. And you can kind of tell that I kind of know the pattern of this boss, because yeah, he did this boss and then another boss, which will be later on, actually were probably the most tough, the hardest for me. I'd say the hardest, probably because I was still learning like the parry mechanic and all that stuff, and still learning the flow of the game, which is why this guy was tough. But then once you learned his pattern, it was a really fun fight. I actually enjoyed this fight. He's like one of my, he was like one of my like top 5, I would say. Even though he is like a tutorial boss, especially when he gets into this part. But I think his human form was probably like my favorite part of this fight. The demon form, I guess, it's all right. He has some easily telegraphed attacks, as you'll see, but you know, you don't fight him all the way because he has like a ton of health. You'll see that like I'm barely chipping his health away. But yeah, once you learned his patterns, it was actually a really fun fight. But I actually enjoyed the combat in this game. The parry mechanic was amazing. I thought it was fun. It helped tremendously. It made a lot of these fights easy, and once I learned it, like the game definitely wasn't as difficult, I'll say. There was one fight in particular that was absolutely a joy to play, and it was my hands down favorite fight in the game. And yeah, we'll talk about that when we get to it. I don't really want to spoil it until we get there. So I'm wondering how I should name these, though. If I should put the names of the bosses in there. I don't know if that'd be too spoilery or whatever, or not. But I'm definitely not putting any thumbnails of like any thumbnails of the bosses, so you won't have to worry about that. It's all gonna be like the title screen, pretty much. But yeah, see, you're supposed to get him down. Oh, no. I'm supposed to be using the little summons that you get, you know, kind of like the forms in the Nioh and stuff. But I'm trying. Oh yeah, now see, I was waiting for it to tell me that. So that's pretty much this fight done. Yeah, see, I'm putting the first 3 fights in there to at least give some length to the video. Not like, yeah, because I think these will only be like what, 5 minutes each for each boss. Might be able to knock about.
Very well. Now,
might be able to knock him out fairly easily with just stabbed in the gut. We're just standing there letting it happen. So you can tell he's going to be the main baddie of the game. The Taoist in black. So this game takes place in the Three Kingdoms era, the Warring States period of China. So like if you played if you played like the Dynasty Warriors games, then you'll probably be right at home with the characters in this game, which I was one of those people, so I definitely know, you know, the characters in this that will be in this game. And I opted to just basically keep the default character creator. I didn't make my own character. I just kept the original character. I know a lot of people like to make their own, which I might. You can change the look of them at any time. So yeah, this cutscene's gonna end, and then we'll skip into the next fight, which is the second stage of the game. This fight actually doesn't last that long, I don't think. I learned this one rather quickly. I think I died maybe 2 times on this one. It was like I was starting to get used to the controls and everything, and then like getting used to the I was getting used to the parry mechanic.
Yeah, then this boss later on ends up becoming like a basic enemy. He's not as big though, but he ends up, you know, he's like the smaller version of him. So yeah, like a couple of these bosses ends up becoming. Yeah, I got hit by that because I was still learning that. And you can see that I have Zhuyan with me, which, you know, if you play Dynasty Warriors, you know exactly who that is. It's like the poster child for Dynasty Warriors. But I would say that like it's almost almost every main mission will give you a companion for the most part, and you can always, you know, use one of the willow branches. We'll use the willow branch, which it has unlimited uses, to basically dismiss all your companions if you don't want them with you. Because I understand some people actually like to fight the bosses one-on-one. Because you can see your companion does draw aggro, so in a way it kind of makes boss fights a little bit more manageable sometimes. And then you can have upwards to like 2 companions with you, and I won't lie, there's like having 2 companions is nice. I did it during like the exploration bits of it to basically build up their bond, because if you do that, if you get their bond up to rank 10, you can get they'll give you their entire set. They'll give you their armor and their weapons and stuff, which I think is actually really good to get, because they all are 4 stars, and 4 stars is the highest rarity that you can get in new game. So it's most definitely worth doing. And so like for the most part, like every chance that I got, I wanted Zhao armor just because of how it looked. So I ended up like taking him almost every chance that I could get. So that's why when I ran through like main missions and side missions and stuff, I basically had him with me at all times because I wanted that armor. I wanted his armor. Because you can decorate it once you get the armor. And then it'll start dropping randomly once you've acquired it. So yeah, it's definitely worth it. Because like even if you don't want your companions, I would still say like... And you can use cups of cordiality, I think that's what it's called, to rank up their bond level. Which is actually rather quick, and there's actually a little cheat code that you can do. Not like an actual cheat code, but there's a way you can farm it infinitely, you know, so you can just kind of do that. And there's definitely guides up there. I don't know if I play the mission that I would even find my words, man. I don't remember if I even show the... Oh, I don't show the mission for me to point out like where to farm it. So yeah, I mean I could, but I'm sure there's plenty of guides out there that will show you how to infinitely farm it. Which is kind of what I did after I had done Zhuyan. I wanted everybody else's armor set, so I kind of went through and did it just to get like their weapons and stuff. And it allowed me to play with like different kinds of weapons and styles and stuff. Since you can infinitely respec in this game, it was actually worth it to like, you know, explore, because you're not locked into one build, which is really nice. Yeah. So now we fast forward into the next fight. Now I have a little bit of different armor.
You scum.
But
This is our execution ground, didn't you know?
yeah, this is gonna be another boss that ends up becoming like, you'll see them as like a normal enemy type later on. You don't see them very often. It's not like they're all over the place, but you do end up fighting a couple more of these big boar-like enemies, which apparently we're playing Wild Hearts. And a giant boar and Wild Hearts.
Go quickly.
I haven't actually bought Wild Hearts yet, but I have seen, you know, I have seen it. I've been wanting to get it because, you know, I love Monster Hunter, so of course, got to get another Monster Hunter-like game. This was another one of those fights. I think that I did this one in one go, if I believe, because he has some very easily telegraphed attacks. Although he did hit me with that, but he really does have some very easily, especially this one. The charge, so easy to deflect that, and you'll get some. You know, I said easily telegraphed attacks when I'm getting stomped on by like 3 different times. But yeah, overall, like, I would still, like, some of the boss fights you'll see me actually have companions with me, but then I started to get into like some of the later fights when I was like more confident in my abilities and just wanted to fight them 1v1. So I actually ended up like fighting them solo, and I loved it. Like, yeah, it was amazing. But like, there's absolutely no shame in using companions, using 2 companions, taking all your companions with you, because, I mean, even then, like, even if you have the companions, the AI is not exactly smart for your companions. They'll sometimes, like, you can see Zhao Yun just standing there in front of him. And a lot of the times, they'll, like, some of the later fights, they just absolutely get stomped on, so you just end up babysitting them, though. But they do work for a nice distraction. You can go heal yourself, you know. Very nice in that regard. And then sometimes, like, the only reason why sometimes I didn't like having companions with me is because when they were trying to do the critical strikes, they would go and attack my companions instead of me, you know, so then I wasn't able to do the deflects. Which is what I mostly spent most of my boss fights doing, was trying to get critical strikes, because fighting the bosses straight up I was not doing like a whole lot of damage, because I think I wasn't spec'd into like the fire virtue all that much. I put a little bit into it, but I wasn't like fully spec'd into like fire virtue, so my normal attacks and martial arts weren't really doing a whole lot of damage. Because I think for the most part I ended up speccing into water, so I could do a lot, like, so a lot of my my critical strikes here, like this, would do like much more damage. And there you go. That's an easy fight. And the first three fights in the bag, which are the ones that you would be playing in the demo. Which the first one with Zhang Liang is probably the hardest one. The very first boss that you have is probably the hardest one out of these 3. And then we get the cutscene where Yongjin, Hongjin, I think that's her name. Yeah.
Not the one you should think.
And then, you know, Zhao Yun, being the
My name is Hongjin.
wanderer that he is, because he hasn't joined Liu Bei yet. This is when he's still under Gong Zhugan, like back in the Yellow Turban Rebellion. Yes, I know some of the lore of the 3 Kingdoms era.
To the Yellow Turban's headquarters. It would be an immense boost to the imperial forces if you were to join the ranks.
But yeah, so that'll end this video. Thank you for watching. I put the 3 boss fights in. I'm wondering if I'll do that for the rest of them. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.